Hi guys, welcome to our channel, The Travelling Hiltons. I'm Jo, and this channel we are going to share our travelling experiences with you, and today we are talking safaris. I've been lucky enough to go on 3 different safaris in 3 totally different places. So I've been to Tanzania, to the Serengeti, I've been to the Ngorongoro crater, I've been to the Masai Mara, and I've also been to South Africa, and each experience was totally unique. So in this video, I'm going to tell you about the safari that we did in South Africa on a private game reserve. I'm going to share some of the exciting experiences we had and why 2 safaris are never the same. So if you think that a safari is just lions and Land Cruisers, trust me, you are wrong. Let's dive in. Okay, so let's take a look at the main areas for safari in Africa. So we've got the Masai Mara National Park in Kenya, and we've also got the Serengeti National Park and the Ngorongoro crater. We've got the Kruger National Park in South Africa and the Okavango Delta in Botswana and the Etosha National Park in Namibia, and these have all got something different to offer. So out of those destinations, how do you decide which one you're going to choose? So you can see here all the different destinations and the best times to visit. So for the Masai Mara, it will be July to October. You get the Great Migration there. That generally is towards the end of the season, and also seeing the big cats. The Serengeti, again, you'll see the Great Migration and all the savanna wildlife, again, June to October. The Ngorongoro crater is best for Big 5 viewing, and the Kruger National Park, May to September is the best time for wildlife viewing near waterholes and self-drive safaris, if you wanted to do that. And the Okavango Delta, May to August, is the flood season, and also you get the unique boat safaris. And for the Etosha, June to November, wildlife at the waterholes and lots of predator sightings. So from that, you can get an idea of the sort of things you want to see. Okay, so which type of safari is going to be right for you? As you can see from this list, there are quite a few different ones. The safaris that I've experienced are mainly the luxury guided jeep safaris, which, to be fair, most people would love. There are also walking safaris. There's the mobile camping safaris where you can move around, and they're pretty much more for adventure seekers, I would say. And then you've got the specialised safaris for photography enthusiasts, bird watchers and cultural explorers. So everybody that goes on safari wants to see the big 5. That's the lion, the leopard, the elephant, the buffalo and the rhino. And we were super lucky because on 2 of the 3 safaris that we went on, we saw the big 5. The only one we didn't see was the leopard in South Africa, but other than that, within the first 2 days, we'd seen the big 5. And I've got some amazing footage that I'm going to share with you of what we experienced on one of our safaris recently. So stick around because it's worth seeing. So the first safari that we did was to the Masai Mara, and we flew to Nairobi, and then from Nairobi we took a small aircraft over onto the plains of the Masai Mara, where we stayed at the Kachechi North Camp, the North Mara Camp, and I'm going to drop a link into the accommodation below. Now, the one thing I want to explain to you, which I think is really important that a lot of people don't understand, is the difference between a private game reserve and one that's open to the wilderness, basically. Kachechi is one of those. It is not fenced at all. It is open to all the elements and all the animals roam freely. So a private game reserve is exactly that. It's owned by a private company, and the area that surrounds the actual camp itself is fenced. So although it's a huge area and you don't feel as though you're in a fenced area, it's not open to the wild. Okay, so all the animals are kept within that reserve. Now then, there are pros and cons to that, obviously. Personally, I preferred being out on the plains because I think you're seeing the animals in their natural habitat. The majority of the game reserves in South Africa are private game reserves, so only guests that are staying there have access to that reserve. So when you hear people say the wilds of Africa, they usually mean the public national parks or unfenced ecosystems, where you're going to get the best opportunity to see those animals in their natural environment. And if you're lucky and you go at the right time of year, you can see migrations as well. However, you do get the chance at the private parks, the private game reserves, to see all the animals, including the big five. But as I say, it's a different experience because you're staying within a private fenced reserve. The other thing to remember is that if you're staying in a private reserve, you will generally be in a jeep with other people. When we stayed at Kachechi, we had our own driver, so we had a jeep all to ourselves, so you can always get the best vantage point to see the animals. Now, your morning starts early on safari, okay? Your first game drive is usually at 6 o'clock in the morning, so you've got to be up at around about 5:30 to get ready to go down and meet your safari guide. After your morning game drive, you will head back to camp for lunch, and you can relax at the camp for the afternoon in the sun and just generally just take in the views. The next game drive starts at around about 5 o'clock, where you'll go out again just before sunset, and as the sun is setting you get to have some sundowners on the plains, which is always a nice experience. So, because that safari was quite a long time ago, I haven't got a lot of footage, but we had an absolutely amazing time and I can really recommend a wild safari. Let me take you on now to our private game reserve that we did in South Africa in February 2023, where I've got quite a lot of interesting footage and some really exciting footage as well. We visited South Africa and did the garden route. At the end of our trip, we did a 4-day safari to Pumba Private Game Reserve. And as you can see from these pictures, the accommodation was absolutely stunning. Gorgeous bedroom, beautiful bathroom, and a lovely outside plunge pool overlooking the reserve. There was a water hole, we could see the elephants coming. It was absolutely perfect. When we went for breakfast in the morning, we had some entertainment from the monkeys. We had to make sure salt and pepper pots were kept well out of reach because they did have a habit of stealing them off the table along with the knives and forks. After we'd had breakfast, it was time to go on our game drive, and we had a jeep that we shared with other guests that were staying at the reserve. We hadn't been driving very long when we came across our first sighting of one of the big five, this gorgeous elephant with her calf.
Wow. Amazing. what I mean. She's very relaxed compared to the other girl. So you can see that leaking on the side of her face there. So the males will do that in must. And the females do it. It's either stress or excitement.
Okay. Question: Has she ever been darted?
Yeah.
Has this one? Okay.
Pardon? Pardon?
No, I was gonna say, has she ever been darted?
This one, yeah. But she seems to be a lot more relaxed than the rest.
Yeah.
So she got darted, you know, identify. If you look on her shoulder there, it looks like her skin's like that. She had a big abscess there. So we had to dart her with antibiotics and stuff. Here comes the little one. Oh, yeah, hiding.
He's hiding easily.
And the sightings didn't stop there. Next we had the rhino, and our guide was telling us sadly about the poaching problem that they have
you can't
on
prosecute him
even the
polygraph,
private
but he got
reserves.
told to leave.
That's all he got there. Did they not investigate?
Well, they did a bit. They found that he actually drove the poachers here as guests.
What, and he knew?
And he still didn't get prosecuted.
He obviously got asked then, but he might get prosecuted now because those guys were caught.
Might.
Yeah.
But do you think he could have been like...
Pumba Game Reserve has been home to a flourishing pride of free-roaming white and split lions since 2006, and there are less than 500 white lions in the world, so we were really fortunate to come across this guy.
Yeah, so him as well, he's got a lot of white line in him.
Yeah.
Yes, he's marking a lot.
We followed him for a while as he slowly ambled along the track. The guides are always in touch with each other over radio in case there are any sightings that might be of interest to us.
So you see he's marking territory as he goes.
Yeah.
He's probably going to mark there now as well.
Was that the one we saw yesterday?
He's just trying. Get up now.
There you go. That's a display for you.
As you can see, he's looking pretty peaceful here, but it wasn't long before he decided he was ready for some lunch. We decided to leave him to have his afternoon snooze in peace, and we came across some giraffe, and also as we passed the watering hole we saw all the hippos.
How much of the time do they spend in the water?
Most of the day. So, but it all depends. Like in winter, I've noticed with them, they'll sleep on the banks.
We spotted a herd of giraffes quietly grazing in the bush, and everything seemed peaceful until this happened.
No way.
No, I don't think he's gonna get them. Oh shucks, he might. Because they're slipping.
No. Go, girls. The baby's separated.
I saw the line then. It's behind it.
And after the drama of all that, we really appreciated a good strong drink. Then it was straight back to the safety of our camp so that we could get something to eat and just sit and admire the beautiful views. I bet you weren't expecting that. There's nothing like ending on a little bit of drama, is there? You'll be pleased to know that the lion was unsuccessful on this occasion. The giraffes managed to get away. The babies did separate, but the lion didn't get any of them. So they were all safe at the end of the day. They didn't actually return to that grazing spot, unsurprisingly, whilst we were there, but it was really exciting to see that. Okay, well, I think that wraps up our safari adventure. Honestly, this experience was absolutely amazing. The wildlife, the landscapes, everything exceeded my expectations. So thank you for coming along with me. And if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any more of our adventures, because we have got so much coming up this year. We have got another cruise booked in April. We're going to Italy in May, and then we're cruising again in October. So there's lots to see. So thanks ever so much for watching, and I will see you on our next adventure. Bye.